G'day and welcome back. This is the next video in my series on the blunders in World Chess Championships, and now we moved along to 1966 where Petrosian faced Spassky for the first time. Now, if you remember last time, Petrosian beat Botvinnik. Botvinnik declined to defend his title or go into the cycle this time around, and then there was just the usual routine of interzonals and candidates and so on, and Spassky won those. So let's quickly have a look at that. We'll go to the Wikipedia page for the 1966 World Chess Championship. Spoiler alert, Petrosian won. Anyway, so you can see the interzonal won by Smyslov, and we got Larsen, Spassky and Michael Tal all qualifying, and that meant only 3 from the Soviet Union could qualify, so Stein and Bronstein missed out, and then you got Ivkov, and then Portish, I think, beat Reshevsky in a playoff. So that was the 6 people qualifying from the interzonal, and then from the previous round, Keres was in because he was second place in the previous candidates, and Efim Geller took the place of Botvinnik, who would have otherwise been a participant. And then this, you can see the comment there following the controversy last time around. They turned the candidates into a system of matches, and you can see the process there that Spassky beat Keres, Geller, Tal, and qualified to challenge Petrosian for the World Chess Championship. And as we'll see, the match was won by Petrosian by a couple of points. Interestingly, it was actually already decided after game 22. I didn't realize that was the case, and Spassky and Petrosian played the last couple of games anyway, I guess to give the crowd some entertainment. Okay, so I'll close that, and now you can see the 2 charts there as usual. I'll just leave that up. Let's claim this for a second. You can see Petrosian was mostly ahead by a point or 2, and what we're going to look at today is there's 3 games with blunders in them. As you can see the markings there, game 12, blunder by Petrosian, game 13, blunder by both players, and then game 18. Let's say we're in quite a lean spell for these blunders, and you can see I've already got the there for round 12, game 12, and you can see basically what happened there is that Petrosian was winning reasonably comfortably, and he blew it with a blunder. Now, just interestingly, so the game we're looking at is Spassky Petrosian, game 12. This one, you can see that's 562. Basically, just as a sort of an aside, we're halfway through our little project here because there's 1,100 games in this database of the World Chess Championship matches. Okay, here we are. Let's keep going. It's the board. Let's move to the key position. But actually quite a technical position here. If you have a look at that, you can see that White has 2 pieces for a rook. Very complicated position. Both of White's bishops are on pre, and White rook is attacking the black queen. So there's obviously a bit of stuff going on here. Now, the best move, according to well, actually, the next move is not a blunder. You can sort of, there's many things going on here. Obviously, potential moves here. E takes d3, e takes f3, or perhaps move the queen, or the queen takes the rook. In fact, one of the better computer lines is take the pawn, take back, grab the rook. Then this is still plus 2, plus 3 for White, because although it's a queen for 2 rooks, White has 2 extra pawns, and I think the black pawn on h6 is undefendable. So it gives White the edge in that position. Right, so that's in this position if Black had done e takes d3. Now it's not a blunder yet. Black moves his queen to e5. The next move by White is correct. The only correct move, knight to f3, attacking the queen. So now we have basically all of White's pieces, minor pieces on pre's, and the White knight is now attacking the. There's lots of counterattacks here. So Black plays the better moves here. Now we have that. There's a lot going on, and this is where Petrosian makes an error. Now you maybe look at this position yourself and work out what you think the best move is. So the best move is to take the pawn, and then now there's a few possibilities, but regarded as best for Black is actually to counterattack the queen. Now we take the black queen, the white queen, and this bishop to d4 is a move. Actually, it reminds me of like windmill attack, right? Because what's Black going to do in this position? Let's say take the knight, and now you can see the rook is trapped in there. Check, and then the final one is you do a check, and you come back and pick up the bishop. And although you exchange down, you've got so many extra pawns in this position that it's a fairly easy win for White. If we look at this position here, White should have just taken the pawn. Now what White did do was a mistake. He took the queen. Okay, so what's wrong with taking the queen? Let's have a look. Let's do the similar lines we did. This is the game continuation. Why did the previous line win and this one not? Well, he takes the queen on c2, and there's a bit of an issue there. That threat is always in the air. Okay, we move our bishop to expose this threat once again. Take the knight, pawn back, check. I would do the same windmill thing, but because of the constant threat of promotion with queen, white has nothing better than force a draw. Can't do anything else. Doesn't have enough material. Can't pick up bishop, for instance, because the pawn on c2 or queen. So that was actually a bit of a sad mistake by Petrosian there. He should have won that relatively easily. That miscalculation in quite a tricky position. Okay, so now we're going to move on to now is the next game in the match, which is game 13. So now we're going to move on to game 18. Okay, you can see the position there. We've got a blunder. Basically, Petrosian had quite a decent edge around move 26, 27, and kind of threw it away. The game petered out. The reason why I wanted to show this is this is one funny tactic in the position. In fact, what white played was f4, and the game petered out. Like gave away most of his advantage. But the advantage is gained by this strange little maneuver. Have a look at b1. Add a variation. That's supposed to be black's best move. Obviously, the pawn's pin can't take the bishop, and he moves up the rook, and anything the rook, nothing the rook can do. Takes b, so it just has to give it up. And so this is the position the computer was saying. The computer obviously identified that the black rook was short of squares. White could win it. Basically ends up winning a piece because that sort of desperado bishop came in and helped out a little bit. And the final position is white is up a piece. But is that winnable? No, it could be winnable. Might not be winnable. But that was sort of gave white much better winning chances than what happened. Anyway, so look, that was a pretty quick video because as I was scraping the barrel a little bit in terms of picking up what were the errors, and I don't think these ones were going to do much more than two stars in my spreadsheet, to be honest. So that was the first round of Petrosian Spassky, and of course we're back in 3 years when in 1969 the same players square off. Hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you very much for watching.